Good evening, good evening, good evening. What are you grinning about? It's
Me?
grinning. Yeah, you're grinning your head off. I think.
I'm just happy to be back on
Monday
screen.
happy, are you?
Yeah,
Good.
I'm Monday happy.
Yay, Monday happy. It's the Plastic Crack Podcast, Monday Night Shenanigans, Season 4, Episode 12.
Blimey.
I can't believe we're at 12 already.
I can't believe it. I'm gonna show my age and be like, I can't believe it's nearly April.
You do need to have a lot of grey hair for that one. That comment. I'm sorry, it's not allowed. Anyway, so we are the usual three of us tonight, supported ably by Mr. Paul Hicks. Good evening, Paul. Thank you for coming back on
Good
again.
Evening. My pleasure. Thank you very much for having me.
I know. So, well, he came back on after last time, so that shows a good sign. And was that just because Andy was on last week and you wanted right of reply on some of the things he was talking about?
Yeah. Rights and wrongs. Yeah.
Good stuff. Dear. So, as usual, we are sponsored by those wonderful people at Boards and Swords. So thank you to the team down there or up there in Derby, much appreciated. If you use the PCP5 code with any purchases at Boards and Swords, you get an additional 5% off of goodness on top of all the discounts they already apply. So check that out if you haven't already done. Get all you
apparently I did check in and it is getting used. There is a flurry of activity. So and there's a fair amount of pre-orders on the old the thing.
The thing.
The pusher pipe. That's the pusher pipe thing. Sorry. So no doubt. But yep, PCP5 it is up there. And then I've got there's a bash related an announcement later because they've got an event that, for people who like windy boats.
Ooh, that sounds interesting. Good stuff. So let's just see who's it. I did see there's a lot of new faces in the chat, so welcome to everybody. But also one of our old faces, Evil Jim. Haven't seen you for a long time, Jim boy.
Oh, Jim.
You're back in the chat. Very nice to see you. Hope you're doing well, Jim. I think he's even said he's coming for CrackCon 4, so there you go.
Yay!
Excellent. So, Paul, appreciate, as I say, you coming on again. But the reason why we talked about when you were on last time about getting you back to talk about your latest Kickstarter, which went live. Was it last Friday?
Yeah, Friday night went live. Yeah,
with Empress Miniatures.
Yeah.
For the Arnhem Kickstarter.
Yes, the Arnhem Heroes. Yes, yeah, it's gone great guns so far. Today we just opened up the last of our stretch goals actually, so that's great news. Yeah. Yes. So we're just wondering if we need to make something else to go. Well, it will allow us to possibly look at making some variations, so that's quite good. We're really pleased with how it's gone.
I think they do look absolutely awesome. And I did see is it Painting Panzers? You shared some of the models with and he painted them up. So if you want to see what they look like painted up, check out Painting Panzers YouTube channel. And I thought that I'm afraid after I watched that I thought, bang, there was a big order went. So I have no idea what I'm going to use them for. Probably bolt action, but as I was saying, I haven't got a British Army, so why not?
Well, I'm just about to look into putting maybe some deals together for bolt action armies, so see what we can do with that with Empress Miniatures. So we're just sort of going to put that together, see if we can put a force together using the figures that we've made. I think we should be able to do something.
Excellent. Oh, I look forward to that. I might have to amend my my Kickstarter pledge. But anyway, that's good. So I was interested because obviously this is a particular project focused very, very specifically on the Arnhem campaign and very much on the classic characters of the campaign on the British side, at least. How did it come about? What was the process of doing this? Was it Empress came to you, or did you go to Empress and say, "I've got a great idea for Kickstarter"? How did that?
Well, me and Paul, we talk obviously quite a lot. We're doing my existing work with Empress, and we did toy with the idea of doing a Kickstarter about a year ago. But we originally thought about doing Soviets, but then something happened, and we thought Russians wouldn't actually be that much of a flavour of the week. So then I sort of thought about things that I wanted to sculpt within the sort of the Second World War theatre, and paratroopers were always, well, I always wanted to do them again because I'd done them when I owned Bolt Action Miniatures many moons ago, and never got them to the way I wanted to look. They always looked like they just jumped out of planes, and I really wanted to sort of have a go at doing them about, sort of right in the mix, minimal kit, just as you see in the photos, basically. And I think that's what sort of suggested to Empress, why don't we do this? And Paul was like, yeah, it sounds like a great idea. And it sort of snowballed from there, really. Just lots and lots of research, looking at images, trying to get the right flavour for the figures, the feel of the figures. That was the most important thing, was to get that look.
Yeah, and so that research element of that, how long did you take to research, and did you have a very clear idea about what the composition of the forces would look like, or did it just sort of snowball from initial?
Yeah, but it was initially it was our because it's our first Kickstarter together. We were going to just try and keep it quite small, to be honest, and sort of we didn't want to, because it's in a way it's sort of separate to Empress. It's a joint effort between myself and Empress Miniatures. So we were a little bit sort of, we didn't want to go all in straight away, just in case it didn't sort of work out as well as it has. So we wanted to make sure that we covered off all the main elements that people would need for a force. But we also wanted to make it that it's something that people could add into existing collections, because we know that obviously powers have been done quite a few times by many companies doing superb figures. But we needed to produce something. So the idea was something that was going to appeal to ourselves mainly through the actual style of the sculpt, but also would appeal to collectors already, and possibly to people that just wanted to maybe create a diorama or something. So that we wanted to make sure that they were atmospheric as much as possible.
So we should take a look at some of these, because I think you're right about atmospheric. They certainly that's how they appear. Let me just pop up some pictures. So this is one of the deal 2. I mean, as you said, they're sort of stripped down in terms of the sort of webbing and stuff they're wearing.
That's right.
Themselves. Yeah. But still armed to the teeth, as you hope a decent paraforce would be.
Yes. Yeah. We just wanted that look of their kit will just be laying somewhere behind them, behind a wall, or while they're in a house, or they're in a slip trench around the perimeter of the hotel, or that's the idea behind it.
I'm just trying to find, there was there we go. Our thing has just deleted one of the pictures, so let me just reload that one up. Just bear with me, sorry.
No worries.
It does it very randomly.
There's no reason. I actually sat there the other day trying to find why it did it, and I still can't.
I can't work it out. So that's the entire collection so far.
That's the entire collection, yes.
So you've got the deal one, which is ostensibly one of the squads, basically, with some extra. With the bugler and captain.
Yeah.
And then the next one is the support weapons, and then the Jeep and the 6-pounder. Oh, and there's a mortar and sniper and everything else. We'll show those, and then the special figures you get if you support this. And presumably those special figures, will they be available separately afterwards, or is it just for the Kickstarter?
At the moment, just for the Kickstarter. But they come free with those deals, so that's quite quite an incentive. That was all Paul's sort of working, was the finding out those characters, because Frost has been done quite a few times already, and Urquhart, so we wanted to do the lesser known characters, that those guys that have got such a rich story, but get sort of get overshadowed by those others that were more portrayed in A Bridge Too Far.
Let's have a look at some of the others. So that's the sniper and mortar team.
Yeah. So the sniper's taken from a photo. I think it's actually glider troops. When this photo's taken, it's amazing because they're all in such minimal kit, and then they're. It looks like they've been fighting for days, but it's just like a team photo, or it looks like boys out, jolly boys out in the photo itself. They all look like they're larking around, but it definitely looks like they've been fighting for days. But there's one guy who's just down the front. It's not got a beret on, not got a helmet on, and he's got his Enfield sniper rifle. And I thought, I've got to make him.
Awesome. What else we got? The
wheelbarrows.
The wheelbarrows.
Awesome.
That's just brilliant.
I know, Dom, you've mentioned this in the past. Simple change, like the guy having the rifle slung over his front rather than his back. It just adds. It looks like they're in a hurry. He's just grabbed a rifle. It could have slipped around. It's so good seeing such individual miniatures. And sometimes you don't get that in Rangers. You don't get that individual look. They all look sort of cookie cutter. But these, every single one of these looks like an actual person. It's just fantastic. Really, really good.
Yeah, well, that's once you've sort of done the hard work, sort of finding those pictures that you want to use as elements. They kind of they build themselves. Obviously, it takes a lot of work to make sure that they look the part. But if you can get it in your mind's eye what you want, and the inspiration's there, just to make them individual.
That's the 6-pounder.
Yeah. The airborne one with the folding trails.
And that's the crew to go with it, which again, I think.
Yeah, that's
very cool.
Sort of, there's a famous picture of a 6-pounder at Arnhem, but it's the reverse, so you'll see the rear view of the troops. So that's what I took for that, the inspiration for those guys. It kind of feels like cheating because it's, you're sort of taking it straight from a photo.
I think, Paul, would that does that make it easier to sculpt that you've got the actual pose that they're in when you're consulting that reference photograph?
Oh, massively, yeah. Because if I start a figure and I don't know what the end result should look like, it's really, it will take twice as long to sculpt that figure. But if you've got something like a photo, you can see how the creases go, what the cloth should look like. it definitely speeds up the process for sure. And also it gives you a sort of a bit more of a push to make sure that you get it spot on, because you're I mean, the figures are inspired. They're not directly taken from those photos, but there is kind of a responsibility to make them look as authentic as possible, because it is a real person. You want to try and give it as much respect as possible.
So if you had access to a time machine and a digital camera, going back to sort of Napoleonics, getting a few photographs, would that imagine how easy that would be?
Yeah, it's trying to get the smoke out the way, though.
Yeah.
Can everyone stop shooting?
Yes. I'm trying to get that perfect picture. Can you please stop shooting each other?
Your great grandchildren will really appreciate this. Well, probably not, but
awesome. I also liked very much the Jeep. I think that's awesome as well.
Oh, lovely.
That is awesome. I do like that.
Really, really, really good.
Thank you.
Really
That's the straight line work. I think that's Ian Armstrong's work. Well, it would be Richard Humble. I know Richard Humble did the little hand cuts for us, and I think that might be Ian Armstrong.
Brilliant.
That's Paul at Empress is he does all the straight line wrangling of people.
And there's the crew itself, which are great models. Really good.
They were great fun to do.
Yeah, I think as you said, I think the sort of realism of them is what I like particularly, and the animation of them really, really clearly shines through all that work you put together around, making sure they matched onto real pictures, which is something you don't always see with sculpts. It's which I liked particularly. So I've committed to it and I have no idea why, but I just thought they looked so nice. They're brilliant.
Well, thank you very much.
It's not cheating; it's bringing history to life. That's what he said.
Oh,
there we go.
Well, thank you very much.
So a couple of questions people put in here. I think we just talked about this. Can the special characters can you get the special characters outside the deal, or is it limited to deal 2?
No, they're limited to the deal because they come as a thank you add on to the deal. They're actually, the packs are discounted, plus you get the special character as a thank you for that deal as well. So sadly they are part of that deal, so you get them. They're only available in the deals.
Got you.
Is what I should really say.
Mike says over 36k. Now we'll stretch deals gone. Well done, Paul. I think that's.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Definitely.
Well, I think we might be adding to it, but they won't be stretch goals. I think we'll add them on as add-ons. So that's a little bit of news for you. We might be adding some more figures to it.
What sort of thing are you thinking about for them?
Well, I think we're looking at doing another pack of rifles, just to more variety, because it's at the moment it's just the 2 packs. So we're thinking of adding a couple of packs to that, a pack of rifles, just to give more variety, and maybe 1 or 2 other figures. Let's see. I've got to look into what I need to do for that.
Brilliant. Well, people seem to love them, so Rob's saying the same thing. Yeah, you look great.
Thank you.
I think that's really good. There's one for you, Steve. Is there a pledge level where I can get a video of Steve assembling the metal 6-pounder?
No, I think that only applies to a certain manufacturer's kit.
Would that be the one that never puts any instructions in their kits? That one?
Yeah, the one that made me swear for half an hour, that repeating myself. It was quite.
Well, Empress Miniatures do have a Facebook page with all the instructions for their kits, so it will be supported with some instructions.
Always good to know. Yeah.
Good stuff. Actually, Graham's got a question here. He said, which other ranges do they fit with? I've never really understood that particularly as a question, but I understand people do get very keen about whether they comparable or size-wise. Yeah, did you try and model them to match scale-wise or look-wise with others?
Well, all the non-plastic British Airborne that Warlords sell, I sculpted originally. Mm-hmm. So back in 2006, so they all match in with those, no problem, because I use the same base armature. I have a little stick man I use for my figures. So basically, any range of World War II that I've sculpted, they'll fit in with. So most 28 mils they'll fit in with, no problem at all.
Cool.
Yeah, you should have no problem at all with that.
Brilliant. As you say, I think given the fact there's quite a lot of British paras on the market already, probably people will be keen to mix them in amongst them.
Yeah. Well, that was definitely one thing that we had to take into consideration. We needed to produce something, a range that would complement but hasn't been seen, before, and will fit in there nicely.
Mm. Was there anything in the range that's there so far that you wished you could have done but you couldn't do for one reason or another? Or was it
what in the Arnhem Heroes stuff?
Mm.
Well, yeah, but I think there's maybe some more of the airborne transport. So the cut down Morris, that's one. Maybe just a few more figures, but now it's gone so well, we can sort of reevaluate that. Mm-hmm. I mean, this might not be the only Kickstarter we do for this airborne range, because this has gone so well. We would like to add to it for sure. Yeah. But I think at the moment we've covered all the bases that we wanted to cover with the figures that we've produced. There's one or two maybe characters that I wouldn't mind having a go at. But we needed to make sure that we've done those important elements to start off with. Otherwise, it just becomes a collection of character figures then that won't have much use for most people.
Mm. And did you have in mind, particularly how they were going to be used? You mentioned they were, people could use them as diary armors or what have you, but was it particular? You were thinking it could be used for bolt action or chain of command or something like that. Was that in your mind, or was it just producing the best figures you could?
Well, I think the idea is to produce the best figures that we could, but knowing that they would primarily be used for either chain of command or bolt action, we had to keep that in mind. And we obviously needed to make sure that they would work as gaming pieces as well, but we wanted within those constraints make sure that I don't think there's any company that goes out there and doesn't try and make the best figures they can. So
no,
that was, but definitely we wanted to produce the best power range, or I say airborne, because that's the thing, we didn't want to limit. We didn't want them to just be British paratroopers. We wanted to have that look that you could put. They could be air landing, they could be glider regiment, all mixed up together in those last few days before they had to evacuate. That's what we wanted.
Yeah, makes sense. Well, I've seen questions already. So people asking, is there going to be a German force?
Yeah, we've been asked that a lot. Yeah, we've. I think Paul's looking into it because again, if we do a range of German forces, again, you're smacking into lots of figures that are already on the market, and we don't want to. But there is those other units that were present that we want to have a look at and maybe have a go at those, doing those. There's definitely the cut, that definite cut down look of the SS uniform. It's more sort of British battle dressing look. I think there was some Luftwaffe units there as well, and some training school regiments or forces as well. So we want to have a look at those, see if there's anything that makes them stand out that would make them look different. Again, people can add in and give a real good flavour to the to their collections, really.
Mm. I don't think they'll be doing that, Alex. What about the pretend German vehicles from the film? I don't think so.
Yeah, well, then the leopard one. Oh, you never know. Empress might have a leopard one in their modern range. Just or get some Land Rovers and then make some Sherman cutouts to go over the top of them.
You're onto something there, definitely. Then.
Yeah.
Awesome. I think that's brilliant. So again, you talked about the process you went through with these and using a lot of photographs. Was there a lot of did you have a lot of reference books, or where did you get your books from that you were doing all that research from? Was it something you had in your collection?
I'll spin you around. So there's the book collection. So there's plenty of. I mean, I think I had most of the books from getting them from working with on Bolt Action originally. I think I had most of them. But there's, Google's quite a friend if you're looking for stuff on Arnhem. Those pictures come up. Paul, there was Paul's done quite a well, not done quite a lot. He's done a lot of research on finding out on those individuals, especially the Tatham Water character. That character piece that we did about him aiding Father Egan across the road. That was all Paul's idea and research, and then the actual design for the figure was based on some illustrations from his biography. So we took some inspiration from those.
Excellent. Clearly it worked. I mean, as you say, it's probably one of the most, maybe not one of the, it probably is one of the most sort of photographed campaigns of the war. I would think there must be so much evidence to.
Yeah, I mean, there's the famous sequence of the mortar guys in the trench firing the mortar, or in the pit, sorry, firing that mortar. You've got the. I mean, there is so much available. There was a few books in Mark Urban's new book on the parachute regiment. There was quite a few images in there that were really useful. Ospreys as always. So, and it sometimes you'll take an image from a picture, and then you'll go, right, I like that pose, but then if I take elements from this photo, or if I clothe him in what this guy's wearing, but I take that pose, there's a bit of a crossover between, just to sort of flesh out what figures we need.
Got you.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's great. Listen, we've had half an hour of you talking at us, so give you a break, Paul, to grab a glass of water or something. And let's go back round with the team about what we've all been working on the last week, and then come back to Paul. I know you've got to dip out for a bit, but
yes, I will dip out now, if that's all right.
Okay.
And I'll
of course.
see you in about half an hour. That would be enough
Perfect.
to read the passage of Lord of the Rings to my daughter. Right, I'll see you in a bit, guys. Bye.
See you in a second.
Right. Let's remove Paul for a minute. Fantastic. And then we'll get ourselves around the right way. There we go. So Paul,
how professional is that? You actually went and got the free person one.
I did. There you go. You see. Yeah,
I got a semblance of professionalism on Monday night. What's going on here?
It'll be back to normal service resuming very, very soon. Don't you worry. So as I say, Paul will be back in a bit. He's just going to go and read his daughter a nighttime book, which is always a good thing to do. So, and then we can take some questions from you lot if there's anything. Had a couple of people ask some questions, so please fire them in and let us know what you want to know from Paul. It's not often you get to talk to one of the best sculptors in the business, I think, at the moment. Anyway, what have we all been working at for the last week or so? Steve, do you want to come to you? Your 15mm bolt action game.
No, I didn't upload any pictures. I'll talk about it in a bit, though. No, after spending the past 5 weeks,
professionalism just went
out the window. Yeah.
After spending the last 5 weeks painting 15mm, I'm back on the 28 and I'm back on the DAC. So I'm so close to finishing. So I did those last week.
Oh, nice.
So they're the two LNGs from the second shooting squad that I'm working on. Again, all kit bash. Well, these guys are kit bash because I can't stand those prone gunners.
I know you said this before. I love it.
It pisses me off. Prone plastic figures have got their place, and I just don't know. I know you don't like him either, do you?
I don't actually. I really don't. But I'm not as good as you to actually sort of do my own kit bashing. So.
Well, these are that's one thing about Warlords Plastics is that you can dig around. You're going to find something. So they're arms and different things from a manner of different kits. But it just makes them, like Paul said before, no figures in the middle of combat or doing something rather than just lying down. It's just so lame and generic. So that's what I'm working on at the moment. I'm so close to finishing this DAC project because people have been getting in contact with me saying, when are you going to finish your DAC? We're waiting for the next video. Yeah. And
I did notice the return of the cork, which is great.
Yes. Leslie will be proud of me. The cork is back. Actually, Warlord Games did a thing on their Facebook page today about what's everyone's favorite base material, and mine was cork because it's so brilliant.
There's a surprise.
So no, people have been asking me when the next video is out for the DAC, and I'm being not pressurized, but I'm being poked with a sharp stick to actually do a painting tutorial on those Deutsche Africa course. So I might have to do something, but at the moment I'm currently working on Opal Blitz from my DAC. The last one. It's the Warlord one. It's one of my. This will be a third one of these I've built. Such a lovely kit, goes together so well, paints up really well, and it's just nice. In fact, my mate thought it was a Rubicon kit.
No, it can't.
Just like a sharp intake of breath. Then everyone went. So that's what I've been up to. But yeah, I did have because of all the 15mm I've been painting, I decided to try it. Use them for Gear Bolt Action on Saturday, bit of solo gaming, and it was brilliant. Thanks to everyone that recommended keeping the ranges the same.
So you did.
So that Ken and Phil as well.
Oh, sorry, you broke up a bit there for a minute. So you did 15mm on a 4x4 table.
4x4 table, 15mm, and I kept the ranges the same as they would be at 28. And I agree with Phil and Ken. It's a completely different experience from playing it. it feels, dare I say, more realistic. It feels more like a tactical, a proper tactical encounter, where you can actually use things like outflanking, and it's yes, I'm sure Alex will agree with you there, Colin. But it was a very, very different type of game, and if I'm by myself this weekend, I'm going to be doing it again. So it's 4x4 table, dead easy to set up and put away. I found as well that actually packing the table full of scenery, that really worked. It broke down the fire lines. It was just made it completely different game. And Phil's asked, could we do epic bolt action? Could we do epic bolt action at CrackCon? That is something I'd definitely consider. And I'm going to be trying soon Chain of Command at that scale as well. I know Alex, he swears by it. So I'm going to see my inaugural game of Chain of Command that I've never played before. That's what I've been up to. I'm not stopping until I finish this DAC. So all I've got to do is paint 4 more infantry, this, and a Panzer 4, and I'm done. Well, I'm not done because I'm going to add 3 Panzer 3s to make it a light a light Panzer division as well.
Leslie approves. Corks, we're missing for a few weeks now. Cork for the Huey base? I think that's a loaded question if ever.
I'd have to actually do the base. I'd actually have to build said Huey before I base it, and that's not going well. It really isn't going well. So I think I'm past intimidation. I'm more into dread, fear. But no, it will. Do you know what? In fact, what I might do is we've got a bank holiday weekend coming up soon, haven't we?
We have.
Yeah, yes. We have. I might set 2 with a load of coffee and the Huey kit and see what happens. So
awesome.
I might do that. That sounds like a plan.
Hearing Dave Brown talk about one of the next supplements for Yayo Group, I'm thinking about is going to be the Desert War. I think I might myself head into the desert for a 15mm army at some point soon. So. Because that would be fun, I think.
That will be really interesting. That.
Anyway, what about you, Martin? What have you been up to?
Well, not a great deal because I'm moving house in a couple of weeks. So the hobby stuff. Hang on, I'm just finishing painting it tight. There we go. I'm going to be moving house shortly, and so the dreaded pack up has begun. I've got to, essentially all the projects will be going away bit by bit. And luckily though, because where our house is going to be in the same town where I work, we've got some storage units there. So I'm just going to start ferrying stuff now to save time. But I've got a shoebox which I'm going to put some paints in, and I've got a little moving project which I'll show you anyway. But yeah, no, I've had a good week. The Saga game went up. So I won't spoil it if people haven't watched it, but that was good fun. Though me and Robin are definitely going to have another one, and I believe no, it didn't go with it. Okay, here we go. So on Wednesday, me and my mate Kev, we were playing more of my rule set, so I just took a quick snap. So I realised that I've now play tested a lot of this, and I've never won. So it must be. So that makes me think that it's normal and it's working.
Perfectly accurate rule set, then.
Yeah. That was really good fun. That was just taken as my troops advanced against a very, very solid Lancastrian line. You might notice his William Marshall flag in there because he loves William Marshall, and even though he's dead for 300 years at this point, he wanted him, and there was no argument. So, but no, that was a lot of fun. So I've been doing a lot more like stuff like that because obviously it hasn't involved as much painting and things. So that was really, really good fun. And basically the thing I've been working on most recently is getting the morale system. I think I said that last time sorted, but that seems to be in a good place now. And the longbows that were working, and they were disrupting properly rather than just slaughtering people. They were causing a lot of disarray, and troops didn't know what the hell was going on. Unfortunately, they were my troops. So so that was good fun. So I've been sort of researching various other things. Now I know I said last week I got a little sidetrack,
project.
A little side project. I've decided it's my moving project because it's small scale and I can do something. So I'll flash up a little picture. There will be more on this to come. And when I say little, I mean little.
Yeah.
I mean little. So these are 10 mil. These are Saxons, I've been having fun. I'm painting some at the minute while I'm finishing off some Reconquer design stuff. There's a few things I'm just trying to finish, but like that's in my painting part that's half painted before we move. But I do have a nice fresh hobby room to come into. But my little project here is I'm going to do a video about it, explaining how it happened, why it happened, and why I entirely blame my mother for it. I know Dom knows about it because I got very excited and I was really
I made the mistake of ringing him up to talk about something else. I was on the phone for about an hour and a half hearing about his exciting new project, which is very exciting.
I'm just going to answer.
Ken's first comment was, "Were you drunk?"
Yes.
So I'll answer that. No, I haven't forgot. I'm not going to be able to have a game before I move. If I have a game and Haley catches me, I'm dead. If I'm not packing or shifting stuff, and if I take time off to have a game and film a game and then edit it, my life will be over. So no, Hail Caesar will be the next game that comes up on the channel. I would have had one with Robin this week. That was the plan, but I've just got too much to do.
I wonder whether he meant your own rules. That's what he meant.
Well, I'm going to the first game I play. I'm going to use just the rules in the supplement. I'm going to even use points, which is going to hurt. So I'm going to play it.
Can someone flip that, please?
I'm gonna play it as is, and see what I think, because there's always a few things in there that make me raise my eyebrow slightly, slightly raised eyebrow. And then what I'll do is I'll tinker with. I don't think the list, the one that's up on the group and the one we use, I don't think that's going to need a lot of sort of thing. There's a couple of things in there now. They've got their added rules for artillery. My rules that I use in artillery, I guess. The other thing is, Unibit. Were you talking about Hail Caesar for my little one, for my little? Yes and no. Hail Caesar do a supplement specifically for the battle that I'm looking at recreating, but also I thought it might just be fun to come up with a very simple set of rules to play. I thought that might just be a laugh. I might have found myself looking at dice and texting people going, D6, D8 or D10? God. What do we want? What do we want to see? But no, it's just a bit of fun. But hopefully, so that does mean in the coming weeks I might be limited on the stream. So there might be a couple of weeks where I won't be here, I'm afraid.
Oh, that's exactly what I had come to mind when I saw those figures. They're all too young for us. Sorry. Michael, it's Martin Bent. I can't even say it now. Potty time, brilliant. Love it. Sorry, carry on. Let me go back to Red Steph. Is a moving house is the time you realise you actually lived in a TARDIS.
Yeah. There's going to be a lot of figs either going in the bin or being donated to gaming groups or to a charity pile for crack on. As I was telling these guys, I've got a lot of boards that I've made that I just don't use, and I don't see the point of having. I've got a lot of 2x2 skirmish boards. Like I have a whole port that I made. It's like a third of it. It's like a fantasy medieval one. I used it for RPGs, but then I used it for Burrows and Badgers actually for a while. So a third of it is water. but with little platforms, so you can put I put out little gangplanks across them using coffee stirrers. So you could sort of run all around those. I've got quite a lot, and I am going to have to slim things down. Like I said, I did offer our compatriot who's absent first dibs on the 40k army, which he turned down. So
that's because you wouldn't swap it for tiddlywinks or something. He wanted real money. That was the problem.
Buttons. Isn't Ken's preferred unit of currency buttons?
I think it is. John says, I blame my mother for lots of things, but choice of miniature projects isn't one of them.
Yeah, it was her fault. Basically, all right, so essentially, she asked me what I wanted for my birthday. I told her she wanted a link to it. It was for a book. I went to the link, found out that there was another book coming out by the same person, which is specifically about this battle. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I knew vaguely something about the battle anyway. And I thought, oh, I'll do that. And then 2 hours later, I'd printed off, an army. But this is the danger of this thing. And also the good thing, because I found the manufacturer, and they're very nice, and I just looked at them and was like, well, that's not very much money. I didn't sort of scour for anything for it. I was like, oh, they're cool, and printed off 150 little men, and then went, what have I done? And then I've got
as you do.
I don't know if you can see them. I'm currently, I don't know how well this is, but I'm doing lots of little archers at the minute on there. So yeah, it's just a little project. So my little moving project.
Awesome.
But there will be. I've filmed a backlog of videos to put up as we move, updates and such, and other bits and bobs.
Brilliant.
There we go.
Brilliant. I love it. No battle, Matt. He hasn't disappeared. He said, have I red carded Paul already? No, he's just gone to read a book for his daughter, and then he's coming back. So he'll be back. Right. I've had a pretty productive week this week. Actually, I've been quite pleased with what I got up to this week. What have I done? There we go. I did my first unit of light cavalry for the Bruce's in Ireland project. Those are cool. They're nice. I think they're trouble is we're buying them all together. I can't remember where they all came from. I think they're Gripping Beast, those ones. They're supposed to be Welsh and Irish light cavalry, so they are now Irish light cavalry. And I also did a bit more of the O Group Germans that I was working on last week. So these were ones I bought on the interweb, and they were pretty badly painted. So I just sort of touched them up and rebased them and what have you. And I did have a game on Friday of O Group, and it was shocking how much of the rules I'd forgotten. They're not that many rules, and I was filming it. And after about 10 minutes, I said to Jonathan, I think I just put the camera away because we'd forgotten everything. We're not that old. Well, I am. He's not that old, but he's forgotten it all. So we agreed. We had a fun game. It was a really good game, but there were so many rules got wrong. It was ridiculous. But I think we're going to have another one in a couple of weeks' time as well. So now we've sort of vaguely remembered the rules. We'll have another go at it. And I also embarked on a big rebasing of some Prussians. So there's a load of Prussians got rebased this week, which was long overdue.
Dom, is that why you were ranting on the Warlord Facebook group about rebasing?
I was, yeah. Well, no, they said, what are you up to? And I said, I'm rebasing. I wasn't ranting. I was just saying.
No, you didn't. And they said it was horrible.
It was horrible. I hate rebasing. Does anybody like rebasing?
Me, I love it.
Yeah, but you're weird. Plain weird. Nobody likes it, really. No proper human beings do. Jeez. No, it's a horrible thing. And I did the whole. And what was real shame that some of them were on terrible bases. So the Landwehr types reservists were on pretty horrible basing, but the Prussian line infantry were on really, really nice basing. I didn't do them. I bought them somewhere, but they were on a much smaller base than I use for any of my systems. So it was horrible to rip them off really nice bases to then put them on not quite so nice bases that I did. But I did the old freezer trick, which was great, although a number of heads came off afterwards. But because it freezes the glue, doesn't it? So
I remember when, who was it who said about putting their models in the oven? That was a thing, wasn't it? That was something one of them. That was like back a long time ago.
It wasn't Travis, was it?
Might be.
Oh, was it? It could have been. You're right.
Why were we cooking our models?
I remember, Dom, you put was it like foliage, like leaves?
Yes, I did. I did earth. I put earth in the oven and nearly set the house on fire. That was quite fun because it had lots of bits of wood in there, and I didn't realise it was just peat. That was a pretty stupid thing to do, really. So I don't do that. It was Travis.
I thought it was Travis. I don't know why it sprung to mind.
I'd forgotten about that. Yeah, I could never quite work that one out. And I also finished off a unit that's been on my painting table for it must be a good 3 or 4 months. There you go.
Oh, nice.
Those French Guard Marines. I don't know why.
There's no white on them. What's going on?
I know. I don't know why I did them. I don't know why I wanted them. I just did. They're French. Well, I gotta have something to kill, haven't I? Goodness sake. So now the only thing I don't know what to do with a flag. I can't find any flags for.
Doesn't GMB do one? No, GMB did one.
Nope. Not that I've seen. I could be wrong. If anybody knows where Guard Marines flags are, please let me know, because that would be really, really good. And then because you talked about it, Steve, last week, badges and boroughs.
Can I just ask a question? It's just going to be the tree colour, right?
No, I think it must be an Imperial Guard one, isn't it? It's all fancy.
Just put a tricolour. Just put tree colour on there. It's not going to be.
I suppose so.
Just don't post them in any Facebook Napoleon.
No, do that and then definitely.
I like that idea. White flags. There you go.
Dom, do it and definitely post it.
I might even do that.
Shits and giggles.
Please.
That would be hilarious.
Well, okay, if you did that on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being cataclysmic scanners type head explosions, what do you reckon the scale of incandescent rage would be?
15.
Yeah. What will happen is there'll be some comments, and then Dom will start getting personal messages from people who want to be helpful. And some of them will probably be genuinely helpful and quite nicely worded. Other ones will be essentially just threats.
I suspect you're right. You know what? I'm seriously going to do that. I think I might. I might just print out a Tricular, a really bad version one, and stick it on. Jeez. And also because Steve was going on about badges and boroughs last week, and he hadn't painted one for a while, so I thought I might do a hedgehog. So there you go. It's a hedgehog witch hunter, I believe it is.
After you posted that, I had a proper urge to paint one. I might have to order one this week. I might have to order a warband this week.
That changed in the sentence from "I have to order one" to "I have to order a warband." In the space of just a sentence.
I could feel my brain cogs going. You don't need more. You need more than one. You need more than one. No, I've got a real hankering for a bit of boroughs and badges.
Oh, should we just remind? Sorry, I just meant to say we've got our prize draw tonight.
Oh yeah, we could do that.
Yeah.
Do you want to do it now?
Do it now.
We're waiting for Paul to come back. Apparently, Alex has sent you those messages, Martin. So there you go.
I think he's on about the threats.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's exactly what he is on it. Oh, there's a Tricular. Oh, there's a marine flag in the Osprey book. Oh, is there? Okay, I can.
No, don't get into the proper one.
I'm not going to do it. I'll do a proper one, but I'll do a non-proper one and put it in the book. I put it in the Facebook page.
Swap it out. Yeah.
Do a Tricular and then put it upside down. I like that idea. That would be good as well. And don't paint the edge. Look what you lot are all doing. You're evil.
Don't leave it flat. Don't scrunch.
Oh yeah. I can't have any wind with my flags.
No.
Would be wrong.
In fact, to top it off, get a transfer of like Sooty and Sweep and put them in the middle of the flag to see if anyone notices.
You could get Sweep in a little Napoleon hat, can't you?
Can you?
Well, we've got those ones that Sean sent us. I could do a little photocopy of that and shrink it right down, and then yeah.
Oh dear.
So Leslie's put it was BattleTech at the moment. Oh, sorry, wrong one.
Sorry, that was me.
It is, and it was, and it still is. This year for me has just been every scale period you can think of. Epic
You
ACW,
are all over the place.
Horus Heresy, BattleTech, Bolt Action, 15 mil, Burrows and Badgers. What else is there? Everything except that Rubicon Huey.
Awesome. So you want to do the draw?
Well,
then,
shall we?
Yeah,
we
I think we should.
So we had a big response. So for those of you, and so I guess it now saying it's closed. Of course, the prize is, which is given to us by Boards and Swords, 10 of the 2 thin coats paint range. So if you are the lucky winner, please email us down below. You'll find the email address, which is theplasticcrackpodcast@gmail.com. And then one of us, probably me or Dom, will tell you how to get the I imagine it's going to be a case of going on the Boards and Swords website, looking at the range, and then just writing down the 10 paints you'd like, sending them to us, and we will then pass your details on to Ian, along with your address. So there's been quite a few entries. So should we go for it?
I think so.
Right. Okay. Let's.
Drum roll.
Right, hang on. I've got to click present.
Is that Huey going over?
Sounding more like something from Trumpton.
Huey.
Right. Okay. So here we go. Can everyone see this? You can see, right? So
here we go.
Here we
I've
go.
got this all preloaded, just so everyone can see there. Filtered to duplicate users, and we have 48 entries to this. And of course, we'll start the raffle and pick a winner. So good luck, everyone. Now you can do the drum roll. And the winner is Biz Traveller, another fantastic show, watching on the catch up from the Far East in Hong Kong.
Oh my goodness!
Fantastic.
That's going to trust Ian's postage skills.
That's it, yeah. So we've had one. The last one went to the States. This one's going the other way. Fantastic. Well, Biz Traveller, if you can, when you're watching this one on the replay, if you can please drop us an email down below, we will get in touch with how you can pick them, and then give us your address. I'll pass that to Ian, let him know, and we'll get that shipped out to you. So well done.
Well done.
Remember, guys, there will be another giveaway next month. I know what it's going to be, and it's very, very cool. Very cool. Not that these aren't, but these are awesome. But also remember, if you do want to try out those 2 thin coats, you can go over to Boards and Swords and try them out. I don't know anyone who's tried. I remember someone in the chat, I think last week, said that they were pretty good, like with a decent amount of pigment. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
I don't know anyone who's used them, but you can you can use your voucher, can't you?
Sure, you can. But well, there we go. But Biz Traveller, when you get those, it's now your responsibility to come back and tell us all what they're like. So well done.
Well done indeed.
And stay tuned for the next giveaway next month.
Awesome.
Oh, and go for it. Yeah, sorry.
No. Okay. Yeah,
I was just going to say. So no, that's it. So I have been asked to pass on from the team at Boards and Swords that on the 12th of April they are doing a Battle of the Saints Black Seas participation game on the 12th of April. I will post a link into the chat, but they are incredibly excited about it. You can go along. I mean, Ian does put on a very, very good looking Windy Boat game. I think they're essentially transforming the shop into the ocean for this. I think he's actually, yes, if you go and have a look at the I've just got it. If you actually go and look, when you buy your ticket, you have to select what captain you're going to be for, what commander you're going to be. So you buy your ticket per commander, and It's going to be 75. It's going to be 75 ships commanded by 12 admirals and captains. Will you aid the British fleet under Admiral Sir George Rodney to defeat the French fleet under the Comte de Gras, forcing the French and Spanish to abandon a planned invasion of Jamaica, or will you change the sands of time? Join us as we play the largest naval action of the American Revolutionary War. All ships are going to be supplied on the day. When you select your ticket, please choose which sided admiral you wish to be. This will help on the day with nominating each player and ships under their command, and everyone who's participating will receive a pair of commemorative dice. So those of you who you want to go and have a game, then go for it. But I'll post a link to that in the chat in a second.
Awesome. If you want to see, check out some of the photographs from CrackCon and just look at some of the games that Ian's put on to give you a flavour of what the day will be like. Because I imagine it's going to be bloody immense. Because he does put on a good game.
The Trafalgar one he did a while back was just amazing. I mean, just extraordinary. Because having seen his boats up close, jeez, they're good.
Did you say boat?
I did, because they're windy boats. So they have
don't let Ian catch a cold on boats. My God.
Haley called it a boat, and he got very upset.
He did get that's why I'm doing.
I think he mentioned something about being keel hauled. So
dear, there we go. Yes, Boards and Swords, the spiritual home of the windy boat game. Landlocked, really. It's also the spiritual home of CrackCon, because that's where we hold it. And the next one will be the 21st of October. If you want to where tickets will go on sale in the next few weeks or so when we get our acts together. So Paul, welcome back. How was the chapter reading? Was it all good?
Yeah. We're on Treebeard at the moment, so it's just entering the Ent mood.
Awesome.
It's not the most fast-paced part of the book.
Brilliant. So where were we? We were talking through the Arnhem Heroes Kickstarter.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go back and have a look at some of the questions. I think some of these have already been discussed as we went along. So Ham and Jam, be nice to see some 14th Army in the same style. So I think that means you're sort of the way you were talking about with them sort of looking like they're war weary, shall we say, with what they're doing. I think that makes sense.
Yeah. That would be something I would like to tackle in the future, definitely. Yeah.
I mean, you could do that with pretty much any of them, couldn't you? Because I mean, the reality of what the troops look like when they've been in combat for a few months would be quite different to how they left these shores. So, or any shores for that matter, it'd be quite fun to do.
Yeah, because everyone has that sort of impression that the British infantry are all sort of, polished buttons and creases, and once they get into any army that we put overseas pretty much ends up wearing whatever they want, as long as their weapons working, and as long as they're, there's so much character that could be had. Just looking at what officers wore, that kind of look quite piratical in some places, and I think some of the personal stylings would really come across well on the tabletop, but you just don't really get to see it.
You don't. They always seem to do like if you're doing the SAS or the Special Boat Service or stuff like that. Everyone goes crazy and has all sorts of well, not a uniform just whatever they get hold of. But then they'll do a traditional British infantryman, for instance, Second World War, and they all look like the recruiting poster. It's really odd that way.
That's right, yeah. But there's a fantastic picture of some Canadians in 45, and they've got extra water canteen holders, but instead of carrying a water bottle, it's got a mesh tin in it. And that's something I want to be, that's another element I fancy putting into some figures. But sometimes you're not sure if that's just one person that's worn the kit, and then you can't sort of reproduce it over a whole series of figures.
No.
So as long as 4 or 5 in a picture have got it, it's probably safe to add it to quite a variety of figures.
David had the most important question for you of the evening. Did you do separate voices for the characters? I hope so. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Well, you've obviously got to work out what regiment they're from and where they were recruiting from, just to give it the authenticity of the accent as well when sculpting them.
I think he was talking about your book reading skills, actually. But,
oh, right. Well, I'm known to give them little stories when I'm sculpting. Well, I try to sort of Peter Jackson style voices on, but my accents are awful. They all end up being Welsh, sort of Welsh via Karachi, really. It's not good for anyone.
The sort of accent that would get you in an awful lot of trouble if you were a newsreader or a TV presenter. I know.
Exactly.
Yeah. My youngest daughter Imogen, she was mad about Lord of the Rings. Remember, she was fascinated by the Urukai, which
really?
I think I should be alarmed by somehow. She was absolutely fascinated by. I mean, she's reasonably well adjusted. She's 22 years old now, and she seems all right. But then some of her boyfriends are a bit dodgy.
It's bad to say it's not. She's not the one who's engaged, is she?
No. That's
are you going to have like an Uruk-hai themed wedding?
Now that would be quite something. Wouldn't it? That would be quite something. No.
Everyone just comes in and gets a white hand on the face.
Yeah. Have to be spawned out of some piss or something. Yeah.
Oh my goodness! No, I think that's not going to happen. Benjamin says, "Stop sculpting all those lovely paras. I cannot afford to start another project." Well, I'm sorry, mate. They're already out there.
Yeah.
What can we say? They're done.
Sorry, not sorry.
I'd imagine if we just sort of go far enough.
It's probably will.
That's an endorsement.
It's probably true, to be fair. I'm just working through some of these pictures. Shakers and Spruce says, can you badger Warlord into commissioning you to do some more Landschnecks with charged pike? Those metals you did for Pro Gloria were beautiful. Just missed that pose.
Have a look at Stillfish miniatures. I've done a few little bits for them recently.
I didn't know you worked for Stillfish. They're lovely. Those are.
Yeah, I've just done some peasants for them.
Oh yes.
There we go. Check those out. Also, somebody did leave a question on the Facebook page about ranges. Oh God, I can't remember who it was now, but said, had you considered doing ancient ranges? Particularly, he was particularly keen on Successor, lakes, very specifically, Lake Seleucid or Ptolemaic.
Ancients is just not something that really sort of floats my boat, really. It's not one I would go out of my way to tackle, to be honest.
Stick to what you're good at.
Yes. Yeah.
What you like. I mean, that's an interesting point. Do you find it? I mean, if somebody came to you, certainly, I suppose nowadays you can pick and choose a bit more about what you want to sculpt. But if somebody came to you in the early days and said, I want you to sculpt, I don't know, a Successor pikeman, for instance, which you're not keen on, would you have had a crack at it, or would you have just said, you know what, I'm not going to try?
In the early days, I'd have said yes, I'll have a go. Now, I'll be a bit more choosy, to be honest. Yeah, it's not. I pretty much work the people I work with. That's not on their radar anyway. So I've sort of drifted towards people that would that wouldn't want those in the first place. So that's quite good. Well, you kind of build up a relationship with the people you work with anyway, so it kind of sort of feeds into a design loop anyway.
Yeah,
which is good.
Which is, as you said earlier, how you came about doing this Arnhem Heroes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I guess we're all like that, aren't we? We sort of gravitate to people who have similar interests and, you know, similar things that we're keen to do. Otherwise, you wouldn't do them. But it must be really hard if they're. I mean, do you ever get the equivalent of writer's block, sculptor's block, when you're doing something?
Oh yeah,
just
absolutely.
Run out of steam on it.
Yeah. Weirdly, Tuesdays seem to be that day.
Really?
Yeah, bizarrely. But I'd really look forward to, because I love doing what I do. So Monday is just like, yes, I get to go to work. But then, like other people you speak to, it's like, oh, it's Monday, I don't want to go to work. I'm sort of complete opposite. Tuesday, I find really hard not to get motivated to do work, just to get things to actually feel like they're finishing. Because you get to a point where sometimes when you're doing a range, that you'll be working on set figures, and no matter how much you actually work on them, they don't seem to progress. And that normally happens on a Tuesday. And then I might bin them off for about half an hour and then sort of airbrush a bit of a Spitfire and then come back to it. But yeah, that's the day that sort of really is hard work. And the week always just seems to be Thursday. It's just sort of like Thursday comes around really quickly, and then before you know it, it's Friday, and then so I do run out of steam, and you do get a bit of a block, and that's why it's really, like we were saying before, having photos to work from, because then it's already there. You can see it straight away. You haven't got to refer to books. It's on the computer. You can go from it straight away.
And so, how many hours a day do you sculpt roughly?
Well, generally from about 9 o'clock, have lunch, and then either I pick Lily up from school, or when my wife comes home. So I pretty much keep her sort of a 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, basically.
That's good.
But if there's like a Kickstarter, or if I've got something, I might end up having to do evenings as well.
Or if Andy's forcing you to do something.
I know.
I'm about to say that.
He said not to tell anyone that I have to go and sit in the shed every night.
Yeah, we believe you. We know what he's like. We know this.
Horrendous.
Mike says, might we see Lieutenant Jack Reynolds giving his British grit salute to the German cameraman in this or a future Kickstarter?
Possibly. Yes, I would. I've got there is some fantastic photos, especially that vignette. There's a couple of others that were in Mark Urban's book as well. But I'm not sure. I'm sort of quite torn about doing them, because they don't. When we've got a little bit of grief about the tea drinker that the guy brewing tea on Facebook. Someone said, "Well, what's the point of that? It's not how can I use that in the game?" But then sort of give them a list. It could be a morale, piece or something. But I think that the two finger salute is definitely. I think that would be more of a collector's piece than actually using in game. But yeah, I would like to. It's such an iconic image. It would be fantastic to be able to do, but I'm not sure when or how to introduce it into the Kickstarter. It definitely won't be for this one anyway. That's for sure.
I mean, that's an interesting. I mean, it's a really interesting point that somebody's giving you grief for a figure because it's not useful. It is. I mean, we talked about earlier that you know that it's going to be used for certain rule systems and what have you.
Yeah.
Is that something you consciously keep in the back of your mind and think, well, actually, and I need to make sure I've got enough machine gunners in this Kickstarter to make sure that it's usable?
Yeah, you got to kind of because it's 16 figures to a mold. It's easy to break it down into 4 packs of 4. You've got to try and make sure that you're producing enough figures in an economical way for someone to buy them without any wastage. And also you need to make sure that when Empress sell them, that it works on a mold for them as well, so that it keeps the cost down or the wastage down for them as well. So you've got to keep that in mind for sure. But most of the, I think it's only sort of the tournament real sort of point army lists that are really going to affect. I mean, a lot of people will be able to produce or use forces which are historical narrative games, so it won't be that much of a constraint sometimes. If it's for a certain scenario, as opposed to this is my tournament army, I can only have such and such.
Martin, I think the Kickstarter as is would be perfect for Operation Squad, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I was having a look. Yeah, definitely. And I was thinking about 0200 as well, and having a little airborne force. But Operation Squad, it'd be perfect because it is that real small scale, elite thing. But I was just thinking about that. So the characters, I want more characters. It's like what you're describing is the people I don't want to play. So I remember why I don't do. But no, absolutely. I think Operation Squad. I did see it. I meant just what it reminds me of, because Operation Squad has a point system in it. I can find a little bit convoluted. But another chap just said he just went on there and he's been someone's put up a thing on the Facebook group where essentially it's built just using the historical lists essentially, and it's just man for man. It's just like, we'll play a 5-man game against each other, and then you build out the squads sort of as is, which I thought was quite cool. And you could do that really, really well from this. All the options would be covered. It'd be fantastic.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, as David said, good grief, loads of uses for a model like that. Morale token, resupply token, just because it looks cool token. Yeah, absolutely. Some people are just never happy. It's very true.
I could definitely see it being made into a jump-off point for Chain of Command.
Yeah.
Would be ideal for something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I sort of get the point that people don't necessarily want to have masses and masses of them within, when they're buying a Kickstarter, they want to get figures they can use. But then those extra little bits and bobs, that's what brings the colour to the game, isn't it? I would have thought.
Yeah, and also brings colour to the range, and is it, it's a little bit so you enjoy sculpting. I think that's what with sort of the Barons War Core 3, I think a lot of that sort of stemmed out of stuff that sort of fancied making with the villages and things, and it sort of snowballed. It's just that, how would you, the captured paratroopers, I think that definitely might have to be something we'd look to do if we did the opposing forces. It might work with that, as opposed to adding it in, because otherwise it's just a load of paratroopers surrendering while you're buying paratroopers that are fighting.
Yeah, I can see where people wouldn't necessarily want that, but
yeah.
Yeah. What's it said? Old school says, and the saluting offer is a perfect in a game to taunt your opponents. Yes, true. Absolutely. Very true. Absolutely. What else we got here? People are saying, Paul, British troops brew up every chance they get. Even a firefight. So it's a great figure. Yeah, absolutely, they do. That was the reality.
Well, that figure was actually a gentleman called Dickie Boyd sent me the story of it. Basically was his neighbour when he in Germany, of places, so it must have been a forces connection. And it was his neighbour who he heard the story from about himself in Arnhem, And he said, "Oh, any chance you might be able to, it would be, add this into the range." I looked at, read the story, and I thought, yeah, that would make a great figure, and it can be used as, as a chain of command. You need 4 to a crew served weapon. Is that correct?
For
crewed weapon. Is it normally 4 figures for a crewed weapon?
If Alex is in the chat, Alex is the
Alex will be on this in the second.
Alex will be on that. He'll get your answer in a second.
Oh, if it's chain, I don't know. Chain of command.
Yeah, so it would be perfect. You could add that to that figure to a crew serve weapon to make it into a 4-man team.
I just happen to have my chain of command rulebook here.
Oh, actually 5. There you go.
5. There you go. Well, then add one of the guys with the wheelbarrows, and then you're away, aren't you?
Bob's your auntie. There you go.
Or the chap making the tea. There you go.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I think that's entirely reasonable. Actually, talking about historic things, Paul said, knowing you sculpted them from pictures makes me wonder if you captured my old work colleague from the 80s. His name was Bert, and he dropped at Arnhem and was lucky to get out. Okay. I suppose that's the thing. Well, have you ever had that? Because you've done that a few times, haven't you? Taken sculpted from pictures. Have you ever actually found the person or had them contact you to say that was me?
No. I mean, I've made a few figures of people, but that's generally people want a likeness, but not. I've not inadvertently made somebody and then they've gone, "Oh, that was me." No, that's not cropped up.
I think I bored people before on this. I bored people before, I think, on the stream about this, but many years ago at Salute, when it was at oh no, it wasn't Salute. It was one of the shows anyway, and there was a massive Arnhem game set up, and I was watching it, and beside us was this little old man watching it avidly, and so we got chatting to him. It turned out he was in the Paris, and he said I was in that building there. It was like extraordinary.
Something like that happened when we took the Bolt Action Stand to Bovington for one of their wargaming shows. Again, the same sort of thing happened because they had a guy that was at Arnhem and he was signing copies of his book about escape, his days as hiding in a Dutch wardrobe, basically.
Yeah.
And they did an Arnhem game, and he basically went, "Oh yeah, that I was there doing this." Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, great. I think this old boy was brilliant, and he said, what do you feel about people playing a game around? He said that, as long as people remember us, then that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Which is brilliant. What else we got here? Anthony asks, have you ever used the Army Museum archives for researching projects? I mean, it sounds like you use a lot of books and online mainly, but have you ever?
Yeah, no. I mean, I've delved into the Imperial War Museum's online photo archive before, but not National Army Museum. I haven't been to an archive specifically to look into any photos, because it does get to a point where you sort of research something, and if you can't find it, you kind of you'll. I mean, most figures are going to be uniformed in the way of equipment, so you're going to have a good idea of what should be there. But if you can't find a certain element to it, if you can't find it and you're avidly looking for it, then not everyone else is not going to be able to find it. So you kind of can relax a little bit on the real minutiae of things. But I do want to try and make sure that the figures do look as accurate as possible.
Yeah. Well, there's no shortage of people on the internet who'll tell you when you've got it wrong. So that's absolutely
very, very true.
Yeah.
Dear. And let's see. Startline said some of the best figures I've seen in a long time. Thank you, Paul. There you go.
Oh, that's very kind of you. Thank you very much.
So a reminder, if you want to check out the Kickstarter, you can find it at the Kickstarter, obviously on Kickstarter site, but the link's in the description for this video, so go and check them out as well. Chaps, shall we do a little bit of news and then come back to Paul afterwards? So if anybody's got any other questions about broadly, either about the Arnhem Heroes Kickstarter or about anything else to do with it, with his modeling, then please put them in the comments down below. And in the meantime, we'll talk about some of the news that we've seen apart from the wonderful Kickstarter. Let's do that. So let me whack up this.
That really put me off when you displayed that.
It's not quite right, that, is it? There's something not right with that.
It's not. It's like it should end in like impending violence or something. There's just something very unsavory about it.
I need to cut in some scenes from Paris or something at the moment.
Yeah, just down by the river. Yeah,
just superimpose it in one of the chat boxes. Then it's all gone off behind it.
We can blame Ken for that. It's entirely appropriate. Martin, I saw you put some stuff up.
Yes, I did. I did. So there's been various bits and bobs, and I like to post up various things. I got one for Steve though, and a few other people now.
Is this Bushido?
No, that is in there as well
Oh,
though. But
damn
there's
it.
new starter sets for X-Wing, but faction starters. So there is one for the Galactic Empire with 2 TIE fighters, a Advance and a bomber, and then there's one for the Rebel Alliance as well. But they've actually now done these as full, so you get the dice and everything in these rather than just the cards, which they did the previous one. So
that's really good.
I guess they're trying to get more entry into it. I haven't played version 2.
I haven't.
Here. Actually, I've just realised that 3 of my things are for Steve. So we'll move on to the next thing for Steve. So for those X-Wing,
you should have back 80 quid.
8. Okay, I didn't see how much they were. I'm not saying saying you should buy them. I'm just putting them up. I'm just putting them up. I like how it says also included the rules. Yeah, that would be.
That's kind of helpful, really, isn't it? Yeah.
Thank you. And then the next one, which I know Steve is happy about, is the Kickstarter for BattleTech.
Oh, don't.
It's there's a lot of Kickstarters I want to back at the minute. Just saying. There's one we're talking about. There's Gangs of Rome. There's this. There's the By Fire and Sword Kickstarter is live as well, and it's all just before I move house. So I'm trying to I'm limited.
I'm actually trying to this mercenaries box. I'm literally, and as much as I enjoyed painting those mechs of the week, I could see me really totally getting so involved in painting mechs. I'd have more than I'd know what to do with. So yeah. Well, they were enjoyable, but that looks like a good box. It really does.
Well, that's up on Kickstarter as well. This isn't on Kickstarter. It is World War II. AB are releasing some BEF forces.
They're lovely.
Oh, lovely.
They are nice.
I thought those were. I assume these are 18. I couldn't find out if they were or not. I assume 18 mil.
20, I think.
Yeah, they're 20s.
Yeah, but I really, I thought those were really, really cool. So yeah, there's more. If you have a look on the website, they've got some guys in on AA guns as well. So watch that. There's another Kickstarter starting for those people who like their dungeon crawling. Mantic are putting up another version of Dungeon Saga with Dungeon Saga Origins. That's coming out on the 30th of March. So that's up, and I think there's been some people who've posted up pictures from the Mantic Dungeon Saga before. So if anyone's interested in sort of more tabletop stuff, that's coming live. And then yes, the Bushido have released another themed army box. This is off the ninja faction. So they've got lots of different starters now. You can get like a faction starter, which I think is 35 quid, but these themed boxes take things a little bit further. So these lists are worked out and sort of synergize with each other really nicely. So these are a bit more expensive, but they come with all the dice and cards and rules. But this is the Ninja faction, which I posted up the other day, and there was quite a lot of chat. And now I think I am definitely putting on a game of this plus something else now.
I cannot tell you, Martin, how many times one of these starter factions has gone in my my bot and my my checkout box, and it's come back out again. I don't need it. I don't need it, but they look so nice.
Every time I'm doing shopping, the store that I use, I always go onto their site, and they stock Bushido, and I'm like, I must. Oh, and then I think, no.
Surely the store that you used to is Boards and Swords, because they sponsor
absolutely with a 5% code. Yes.
With a 5% code. No, very cool. So this list is up there for those ninjas, but I think they've got something like 12 factions or something on there now. There's a huge amount of sets on there. But
yeah,
I'm going to run some demos, and I am going to make Dom play it. So yeah. Absolutely, but that's what I saw. I thought this week. So right, so there was some 40k that I figured someone who was interested in that had already seen that, so I didn't bother with that. I don't know, but there's some massive giant guy that looks like Charles Dance, who's been released, which is one of the Primark.
I honestly didn't think
it looks like Tywin Lannister. I can't unsee it.
I honestly didn't think he'd look like that. I always thought he'd be a bit like
the guy from Soul Calibur. He's just old and angry.
Yeah,
like most of my clients.
But no, I didn't expect him to look like that. I really didn't.
I suppose that's good in a way.
And like I said,
it's unexpected, but
I can't look at that figure and see those two little dudes next to him. It just makes me think of Phantasm.
Jesus. There's a whole lot. There was too much. There was so much 40k stuff to talk about. I couldn't possibly get it all on here because we'd hit the photo limit. So over to you, Dom, because I know you've got a picture of what I saw.
Well, the Reconquer,
the stable that he just decided to make.
He just decided to make a stable. I mean,
yeah, with unsaddled, lots of unsaddled horses apparently are going to come with it. So which. I can't remember who I was talking to. It might have been Tony, just saying that it would just be really nice to have lots of unsaddled horses that you could use for a variety of things.
You could use that for anything, couldn't you? I mean, that's just pretty much anything at all.
Yeah.
You can see the horses in the stable at the back there.
That's cool.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Very cool. That's March's release, isn't it?
Is that March? I don't know.
Yeah, that's March. Yeah, that's coming. I think that's coming with the heavy infantry that he's been previewing.
That could definitely be turnipped, but I wouldn't. But it could.
No. Talk about Kickstarter. Annie at Bad Squiddo has Women of Horror 28mm Kickstarter running at the moment.
Oh, cool.
If that's your thing.
Is that a pug? That's amazing.
I think it is a pug. Yeah. Yeah, I think it is.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So there you go. Some weird shit for everybody because I know how you all like that. And also on the back of Andy last week, this is the render sprue from Wargames Atlantic for the Gangs of Rome plastic figures, which look amazing. Really good.
That's the first render, isn't it?
Yeah, first render.
Yeah.
But these are ones that could be built as citizens and as fighters.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. Yeah. Which I think have tremendous uses for all sorts of things, which is great. Now, the next bit is brought to you by Victrix because they seem to have gone absolutely bananas, Victrix, this month. They seem to have got everything coming through. So they sent some sort of previews of things. So this is the long-awaited British Household Cavalry Napoleonic set, 1812 to 1815, which I think is due out next month, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's quick. That came around really
amazingly nice. Amazingly nice figures. They have also brought out some more of their 12 mil, 12 mil, aren't they? Second World War figures. So this is obviously the German Pak 40 with its transport. They are lovely.
Real
figures.
Matchbox vibes again about it, isn't
Yeah,
it?
hasn't it? Really nice.
Did you say it was 12 mil?
I think it's 10 or 12. I forget now.
Yeah, because they do O group bundles, don't they?
Yeah, I did have a whole load of them, and I I got rid of them because I just thought I've got so many scales, so I did actually sell them on. But yeah, that is a lovely looking model.
That is very, very cool.
They've also got some late Roman cataphracts on their way.
Oh, I want those because this is, again, because Dux is on the cards for after we finish Saga, and even though I don't need, I love cataphracts. I just love them. They are nice. And then you bring them up as well. Brilliant. Yeah, great.
Late Roman armored infantry. Now they went on pre-sale today with Victrix.
Oh,
so there is a massive selection you can use with these. So you can do Arthurian, you can do late Roman proper, you can do Gothics, I think. There are a number of different options within the kits, and they do look amazingly good. And then just today, they put up these sprues. Late Roman horse archers. Which just amazing.
Just not going to go on their website for the next month. That's my plan. I'm just going to get rid of my.
Probably the safest thing, really. Yeah, just don't go in them. I mean, these look very much like the Scythians they did, the same sort of poses, which I think are an amazing set. I do like a Scythian. These look very, very similar, but Romanized. So there you go. That's what I saw. Some amazing figures coming through. I don't know if it's because show season is well and truly underway, but you seem to be seeing many, many more figures coming through, which is great. But yeah. Anything, Steve? Did you say anything? Was that everything we saw?
Apart from the lion, we've already mentioned him. That was the only thing, really.
Cool. Excellent.
Dom knows exactly who you're talking about. Clearly, I can see the flash of recognition in his eyes. He knew exactly.
90% of what you two talk about, I have no idea what you're talking about. So it's just my normal look, really. Ah, dear. So where were we? So yes, lots of good stuff. If you see anything else, then post it up on the Facebook page. Reminder, if you're not a member of the Facebook page, please click on the link down below and join it. We are very, very, very close to 1,000 people, which is extraordinary, really. And I realised I didn't say thank you to everybody watching a catch-up. Nobody reminded me. So there we are. We're almost the back end of the show, and I haven't even thanked everybody for watching on catch-up.
Well, we'll see if there's when we look at the stats, we'll see if there's a massive drop.
People just saying, "Oh, waiting for that." Benjamin's very happy, so he's going to take his bank manager's going to take a fatua against Victrix. I think you're quite right. Ah, dear, and they are 12 mil. That's right, 12. I should remember. I had a load, but I put them out in my memory because they were so nice. So right. I'm getting slandered in the chat. I'm not going to say it. Matt, you're going to get a yellow card in a minute, mate. Sorry. Right. So where were we?
Well, does that message make any sense to you at all?
I have no idea what he's talking about.
I didn't think you would.
No idea what he's talking about. It's another language you lot talk about, all this 40k stuff.
I do feel bad in our chat when I was sending all those pictures, trying to convince Ken to buy my army. And then you commented, and I just felt bad because they were all commented. So I just felt like, are you okay? You're right, Dom. You were clearly reading all the messages, just going, "What is this crap?"
It just goes straight out over my head. I have no idea what you're talking about with all this stuff. What about you? Where do you stand, Paul, on 40k and weird shit? Are you? What do you feel about this sort of stuff?
I wish I could have. I do follow what they make and what they sculpt and what they bring out, and I really quite enjoy watching sort of lore videos on YouTube. Arbiter Ian on YouTube, really like his channel. I really like all the imagery. I just haven't got the time. Yeah, I've got some bits, and I've got some of the Krieg Guardsmen out of the Kill Team box.
Oh, yeah, they are.
Yeah,
They're lovely. Really, really nice.
All those bits, the stuff that looks like the old Jess Goodwin concept models, you know, like the breaches they did, the Navy breaches and stuff like that. Absolutely, yeah. Because I used to work for Games Workshop in their stores in the early 90s. So all of that's right up my street. I just wish I had the time. Unfortunately, it's either sculpting, making Spitfires, or training for rugby, really. So.
Yeah, I can understand that.
I think Dom much more approves of those hobbies, don't you, Dom?
Certainly. Certainly. Most of that hobby is absolutely far better than the 40k stuff. So would you ever consider doing any of that kind of stuff if somebody came to you and said, I want to, you know, commission you to produce some?
Oh, I've done the odd bit.
Have you?
Yeah. Done some bits for Westphalia. They haven't come out yet, but sort of around that kind of book with a Napoleonic bent to them.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
That's quite popular these days. A lot. I know War Games Atlantic are doing. They've got like a Napoleonic space box.
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
I think it's becoming really. Well, I approve because it's really strange. So I certainly approve of it.
Yeah, it was good fun to do, and I did some sort of some spaceport type denizens. So there's, you know, like space travelers and stuff, like ground crew and stuff like that. That was good fun. I think we'll be adding a few bits to that as well.
And is that nice to be able to do something that just, you know, there isn't really any kind of nothing to follow particularly. It's just a broad, presumably it's just a broad theme, or is it scary to go and do something like that?
Yeah, Pinterest is definitely your friend. So you just sort of go sci-fi space crew. Right. Yeah, it's definitely one of those where the first couple of figures take a while to sort of bed in. And then once you get the sort of the hang of it, it speeds up. Yeah, it's definitely not one that you can take a picture, because obviously that's someone's IP that you're messing with.
Yeah.
It's not like a historical photo or illustration that you can work from.
Yeah. No, I imagine so. Well, I mean, these guys take the mickey out of me that I had complete writer's block or painter's block when it came to painting up a whole lot of science fiction or fantasy figures, because I had no idea what I was doing with them, because there's no guide. You know, painting up Napoleonics, there's a book and I can look at that and follow it, but something that I have to do completely cold, I actually find really, really difficult to do.
That's why you need to try Turnip 28, Dom. It's why you need to try Turnip.
There's no
ironic. I was going to say, the ironic thing is, though, you'll do something that's completely imaginary. You'll post it up in some forum, and you'll still get stick about it not being the right uniform in this imaginary world that they've set up.
Oh dear. Yeah, I think it's difficult. It's where your comfort zone, isn't it? It's always that thing of some things that just you just, I don't know. It just doesn't feel right.
You said that about samurai. You said that about samurai.
But I did that as purely as a challenge, really.
That was a good challenge. It was really, really cool,
and I enjoyed doing it. And I did enjoy doing them, to be fair. It was only really, I thought, there's no way I can paint samurai figures because they're just too complicated. And I should have enjoyed it. Yeah, I bet that modelling that, sculpting that would be sculpting a samurai with all that laminate armor and what have you must be a real job.
You really need to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Got to know where the armor falls and everything. That's especially doing something like armor. Once you put one thing out of place, it just has a knock-on effect for the rest of the figure.
Yeah.
That's and where everyone's wearing that style armor as well.
Yeah, I can believe that.
Yeah, but the Perry's just done such an amazing job with that range.
Oh dear, sorry, just chuckling to myself because I might have been talking to one of the Perrys the other day, and we mentioned you were on. He went, "Oh, Paul who?" In a funny way. He was being funny.
Oh, okay.
I said we should have got the two of you on and done a sort of a sculpt off.
No, I'm a complete fanboy.
Well, yeah, that's because you've they just released that Ottoman range, haven't they? And it's
yeah, that might have had something to do with it. Yes, that might have had something to do with it. What's this space on that one? Work in progress. Benjamin is causing trouble again, Steve. Can we chip in and hire Paul to make a miniature of Steve as a French drummer?
We were talking about this. Me and Tom were talking about this last week, weren't we? We were saying that could it still just be with like the smaller set of clothes? So it'd be like the incredible Hulk.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine what that would look like?
Yes,
in the middle of Derby.
Do you know what? I think that'd be hilarious.
Not in reality.
No, not in reality. A model. That's what we're talking about.
Do you know what? Years ago, I went paintballing, and they didn't have a like a boiler suit to fit me, so I had to put the biggest one on, and it still looked horrific. That's what it would look like.
That's why we thought it was hilarious.
One thing I'd love to do would be like a set of reenactors in just like huge uniforms and that you could put into it, especially like Napoleonics with bits, maybe like the odd wristwatch and glass, you know.
Oh,
that'd be really good. And then post them on a Napoleonic Facebook group.
Wait, there's that game we were talking about, 7TV, where it's the game is it's a TV show recreating.
Yeah.
That's how they get around IP for everything. Yeah, the wrong reenactors. Like when I get really frustrated watching that series that I'm not going to name. That'd be amazing. Thing is, I was trying to watch Gladiator the other day, and then ever since someone pointed out to me the white transit van you can see in the background at the start, because I really like the battle at the start of Gladiator, just because it's running in, but you can see. But now someone pointed out that you can see a transit van going past, like between the trees. I can't unsee it every time.
I can't remember seeing that. Right,
it's very quick. There's also a compressed air cylinder on the back of one of the chariots.
Oh,
yes. When for ages I was thinking the tribes chanting. That's so familiar. Where have I heard that?
It's
Zulus, isn't it?
Zulu, yeah.
Zulu, yeah.
Zulu, yeah, absolutely.
The other week,
there we go. Flaming arrows and Zulu yell.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is true.
So go on,
or not, but I don't know if it's true or not. But I heard somewhere that Lionel Blair did the choreography for the Zulus in Zulu.
Really?
It's something bizarre. Yeah, I'm sure it's probably an urban legend or something.
Oh my god!
Bob Holner's playing.
Love the idea that would be true. That's hilarious.
There's got to be a nugget of truth in there. So remember there was Bob Holner's played the sax on Baker Street. I mean, that was another one that was going on for years.
Yeah, that was Stuart McConey, wasn't it? He spread that false.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Yeah, the other week I was watching The Eagle Has Landed,
and
I kept pausing it sort of every 2 minutes to look at the Fallschirmjäger uniforms. And my girlfriend was like, "Are you watching this film, or are you just staring at the telly?" I was like, "No, I need to know why he's wearing." And yeah, it was really pissing her off. No, I just kept pausing. I was getting reference photographs on my phone.
That opening part when they're by the railway line, they just look proper nails.
Yeah, just something about that film. I just absolutely love it. It's just such a fantastic film.
Awesome. So what next for you then, Paul? What are you up to after this Kickstarter's finished? Is there any projects that you can talk about that you're working on?
Well, I'm doing some bits for Empress. The Planeswolf Brigade Games. some bits. I can't properly talk about that with me and Andy formulating something.
Andy nearly let something slip last week, and then he caught himself.
I know, we were hoping we'd get one of you to slip up.
Yeah. That will be in the elements of the weird. But no more Baron's War this year, that's for sure.
There you go, Dom. You got a chance to catch up now, and all the ones.
I've almost done them all now, so that's fantastic. I've just got some Outre-Mers to do. I've got the damn Outre-Mer castle to put together, but I've got to work out how to do it yet.
I think there's an instruction somewhere, isn't there?
I don't know. I did post on the Kickstarter. Was there an instruction? And nobody replied. So yeah.
I'll have to give Andy a kick for that.
I'll poke Andy and say, "Come on."
Yes, please. Yes. We're going to do a couple of, I think, campaigns for Outre-Mer just to make sure that we can get I think it's just do some armoured Arab infantry in mail and the odd character. But there's not enough we don't want to just, here's another Kickstarter. This is the only way you can get those little bits that you'll need.
Yeah, I think some Arabs in mail or something like that would be brilliant. Yeah. Really, really good. Yeah. Shrink says Baron Wars are gorgeous. They are. They're really nice.
Absolutely.
Fantastic figures. Okay. Shall we do a few viewers' pictures before we finish up? So a reminder, each week we try and pick up a few pictures from the Facebook page. Can't do everything because everybody shows some amazing work, but it's just a selection, a soupçon from what's on show on the Facebook page. There you go.
Wow.
I'm cultured, mate. Me. Yeah. So first up, Alid showing off these T-34s that he's done as captured nice. T-34s.
Lovely.
Which I like. That's obviously done with the German markings, which is really cool. And then Carl.
Old school.
Said he's gone old school. He's doing it for Xenos Rampant, which everybody seems to be very excited about.
Carl, they are fantastic. I think there's some old style workshop figures that have definitely still hold up today. They're really good sculpts.
They're just Goodwin ones, aren't they?
I believe so. Yes, but they're absolute classic figures.
Yeah, the heavy bolster guy that went with that set as well is just awesome.
Brilliant.
Benjamin's headed to the desert this time with 15 mil.
Ooh.
He said it's a break from doing all his Dark Age stuff, so I can understand that. Really nice. I do like the armored car particularly. Really cool. One for you, Steve. Andy.
Yeah, they're brilliant.
I mean, just what are they? No, I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
They're Orc Dreadnoughts, I believe. Are they still called Dreadnoughts? Am I behind?
Aren't they called like Killer Cans or something? Though?
Oh, right, yeah, they are. Yeah,
Killer Cans. Yeah. I kind of like that. That's really cool. I love this from Warren. 20 mil.
Oh, nice
anti-tank gun.
That barricade is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, that's a work of art. That barricade, love it. Really, really good.
That armchair does bear an uncanny resemblance to one from my student accommodation. Really worn mustard color.
Love it. Tony's been working on his Spanish guerrillas for Napoleonics, and this is some of them. He showed off a whole load on there, but they're really nice. I've got a pile of those to do at some point. Well, let's be honest, I've got a pile of most things to do. Neil showing off this. I don't know what it is. So
is, again, I'm going to show my naivety. It's not an intercessor.
Yes, Steve. I would say so. Yes, definitely.
I think it is. It's like They're meant to be stealth troops because 8 foot tall stealth troops. That works.
What are they? I think the word you're looking for is gorgeous. Okay, if you say so, Benjamin, I'll take your word for it. They did look very nice. Now, Adepticon's been going on, and Don posted this picture of the game that he was running there, which is an ACW game.
I thought you were going to put a picture of his cigar, and
I was very tempted to show his cigar picture, but I didn't. I thought but that was really cool. One year I'm going to get out to that. It's in Chicago as well, which is a lovely city to go to. To the Don was doing a rapid fire game at his club.
Nice.
That is nice.
Which looks amazing. Really, really good. 20 mil again, I think. Really nice. And this was Graham's 18 mil General Dame La Haye-Saint game.
Crikey, that is a lot of figures.
Just wow, really. I mean, anytime you see a big battle, it's great, isn't it? Now, Leslie showed off some of his latest War of the Roses figures. Lots of flags. Well done, Leslie.
Lots of flags. Good amount of flags there, Leslie. Good amount of
flags. So I think these are planned for CrackCon, I think. If he gets the table, of course. So that's coming. And then Lee is doing some of his Night Watch figures.
Oh, they're cool. Oh, no. So I read a weird thing. So Night Models, who make the Batman game and the Harry Potter game, have got the license to make the Game of Thrones miniatures game. But I think that's based on the series, whereas obviously this is based on the books, isn't it? The Song of Ice and Fire game. Yeah? Is that right? Am I just talking crap? Okay, right, never mind. Never mind.
Given that I know next to nothing.
The man below you has never even watched it, so there's no chance, is he?
Was it Game of Thrones as well?
No, I've watched 7 episodes of Game of Thrones and gave up. And I tried to read the book 3 times and gave up. So I just gave up completely. just not my thing at all.
I really enjoyed it, but hey, I don't know what it's all about. Now, Ken showed off one of his small battalions.
Wow.
Skirmish.
Just 60 figures, apparently, there. So that's all fine.
That's a skirmish. That's a skirmish unit.
It is for Ken, actually. That is a skirmish for Ken. That's amazing. I mean, just wow. Really, really nice. Justin's been getting all epic on us.
Oh, nice.
That's his Newcastle epic pikeman.
Look really Very good. Nice.
Really good indeed.
Lovely work.
Jonas was showing off. I think this was one of a bolt action competition he was in. So it was. I think he unfortunately was in charge of the Panhard armored car, which rather came a bit of a cropper with those Germans outflanking them.
Yeah, didn't end well.
Didn't end well. So, I love this Cruiser Mark III from Danny.
Oh, the camo on that is fantastic. The weathering as well. Lovely stuff.
Really, really nicely done.
What scale is that?
1/48, apparently. Really good.
Very
model.
Nice.
And we showed Paul's model last week, I think, and he's done the rest of them. But this is Gimli, which is just amazing.
Just stunning work.
Stunning work as ever. And Matt has continued with his War of the Roses figure, so that's his Burgundian mounted crossbowman.
Excellent. Good choice of base.
I was going to say, I thought prove the base. And I'm going to wrap up with Stephen, and I have no idea what this is. So,
no, I don't know either. Awesome is what it is.
I mean, it is awesome. I have no idea what it is, but it's very good.
I had to check to make sure I'd not been sat near the toilet duct too much. What on earth is going on there?
All I can think about is a Jabberwocky. That's all I can think about.
I have no idea.
It's amazing. I love it.
It's brilliant.
All that's missing from that is a hobby horse, and I'd be officially shitting my pants.
Awesome stuff. So there you go. That's a selection of the pictures. Thanks everyone for sticking them up. Really appreciate it. Really good to see, as always, a huge variety of people's paint jobs and games and everything else. So please stick them up there. If you're not a member of the Facebook page, well, why not? But if not, just send us pictures on the email address, which is also down below. Yeah. Anyway, we're coming towards the end. So, Paul, thank you so much once again for coming on. Really appreciate you bringing up your evening.
Thank you.
It was wonderful to see the Kickstarter. I know you didn't. It's done tremendously well. So, very pleased for you. Look forward to seeing what comes next. Because they're brilliant figures. But thank you so much indeed, guys. Who's on next week? It's you, Steve, next week, isn't it?
It's Steve next week, but we've got to put the list up for.
That's come round quick, hasn't it?
It does, yes. So it's Steve next week, and then but there's a few surprises for March. But as I say, it might end up just being the two of you. I don't know, because it all depends on if I can get my jobs done for the move and if Hayley lets me. Otherwise, what you'll see is I'll be sitting here and you'll see, one of those walking sticks will come on and grab me by the neck.
Earlier on when he was wearing that rubber glove, it won't be him that's wearing that rubber glove anymore. And
I wonder what you're on about.
Thank you so much for everybody watching. Much appreciated as ever, and all the comments. Please like, subscribe to all three channels, and we will see you again next week on Steve's channel. So thanks. Have a great week. Thanks again, Paul, for coming on.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Cheers, Paul.
Bye-bye.
Cheers, guys.
See you later, guys.
See you, everyone.